When the Ferrari F40 was launched in 1987, it cost $400,000. That alone made it one of the most expensive road cars of its time. Within a year, some were selling for over $1 million. Long before modern hypercar waitlists and flipping allocations for profit, the F40 became one of the first true supercar market frenzies. It was the last Ferrari personally approved by Enzo Ferrari before his death in August 1988. You clicked on this video to see why Ferrari decided to build this car. Here's the reason. The F40 was created to celebrate Ferrari's 40th anniversary, but Ferrari didn't want vanity, they wanted dominance. In 1986, the Porsche 959 had just raised the performance bar dramatically. It featured all-wheel drive, twin turbochargers, and advanced electronics that were far ahead most of the production cars of its time. Porsche had built a technological showcase, and it dominated headlines. Ferrari needed to reclaim the spotlight. At the same time, the cancellation of Group B racing left Ferrari's Ferrari 288 GTO Evoluzione program without a future. The Evoluzione had been developed as a hardcore racing prototype, but when the Group B was shut down, that project had nowhere to compete. Rather than letting all that engineering effort go to waste, Ferrari redirected its attention and knowledge into the road car. The goal was clear: build a street-legal race car, make it one of the fastest production cars in the world, and strip away anything that wasn't essential. To do that, Ferrari assembled the right team. Enzo Ferrari approved the vision himself. Chief engineer Nicola Materazzi led development. He had already worked extensively on the 288 GTO and understood turbocharged performance and lightweight construction. Much of the F40's philosophy came directly from the Evoluzione as raw, lightweight, and brutally focused. For styling, Ferrari turned to Pininfarina. The design wouldn't chase elegance, it would reflect purpose. Every vent, duct, and surface had a job to do. Materazzi pushed for more power and less weight, cutting anything that wasn't strictly necessary. The result was a car with no power steering, no traction control, no ABS, sliding plastic windows, fabric door straps instead of handles, and even thinner paint to save weight. Structurally, the F40 used a tubular steel chassis reinforced with bonded composite panels. Kevlar was used in the door skins and lower body panels, particularly in areas vulnerable to debris. Carbon fiber was incorporated into body panels and parts of the large rear wing. In the late 1980s, this material mix was cutting edge for a production car. At the heart of the F40 was the F128 engine.
I just died of your arms tonight.
A 2.9-liter twin-turbocharged V8 producing around 471 horsepower and 426 pound-foot torque. Power was sent exclusively to the rear wheels through a 5-speed manual transmission. The car could accelerate from 0 to 60 in roughly 3.8 seconds and reach a top speed of 201 miles per hour, making it one of the first production cars to officially exceed the 200 miles per hour barrier. It achieved this performance not through electronics, but through weight reduction and turbocharging, and offered no electronic safety nets. Drivers were fully responsible for managing that power. Over time, Ferrari introduced several variations. The standard F40 was produced from 1987 to 1991. European spec cars were non-catalyzed and produced slightly more power, while US spec cars were fitted with a catalytic converters and featured a more pronounced front lip to meet regulations. In 1989, the Ferrari F40 LM was introduced, built by Michael for competition use. The LM featured significantly increased output, up to around 700 horsepower depending on specifications. Along with race-tuned suspension and further weight reduction, it competed in IMSA and the BPR Global GT series. An even more extreme evolution followed, the F40 Competizione. Producing roughly 700 to 750 horsepower, it was extremely rare, with only around 10 examples ever built. The F40 GTE was then developed specifically for BPR Global GT competition. It produced around 660 horsepower, featured a wider body, and additional aerodynamic refinement, and only a few were ever built. Despite its raw nature, or perhaps because of it, the F40 became a massive success. Originally planned as a limited production model, demand quickly exceeded expectations. By the end of its production run in 1992, approximately 1,315 cars have been built. It arrived at a moment where supercars were becoming more computerized and more insulated. Ferrari chose a different path: mechanical purity over electronic assistance. And that's the reason the F40 took off. The F40 represents a turning point, the peak of analog performance before digital systems began to define high-performance driving. The Ferrari F40 is more than just a 40th anniversary model. It stands as a final statement from Enzo Ferrari himself, a road car built with the mindset of a race car.